I never once in my life thought I'd ever be here at this point when it comes to Star Wars. Yes, I'm late. I know everyone's going to be looking at me like I'm been living under a rock, but I really wanted to finish that Korriban video before I dived back into the Acolyte. And truth be told, I'm really happy that I did, because I needed a dose of good Star Wars before I dove back into the Acolyte. So, over the past few days, I actually binged to watch Acolyte alongside my wife. I started from episode 2, and then I got about halfway through episode 7 before I had to turn it off. It was an insult to everything I knew about Star Wars, where I couldn't finish that, but I decided to nut back up and go right back in for episode 8. And oh my god, this show is garbage. I am not going to talk about a beat-by-beat story recap of everything, but I will say this. Almost every single writing decision for this entire show was just bad. And again, I said this in my other video, I'm not a great writer, but I do know what good writing is, because I've seen it before. I've seen it before in great shows. I've seen it before in great movies. I've seen it before in Star Wars, and I've also seen bad writing. So I know what bad writing is. And oh my god, the Acolyte is full of these dumb, idiotic, crazy decisions. For anything that anyone has ever said about the prequels, everyone can at least say this: the movies have story cohesion, and the characters act the way the characters typically would in those situations. Not 100% of the time, but enough to the point where it doesn't break your immersion for the movie. In every episode of The Acolyte, some character is doing a complete about face and doing the exact opposite of what they said they were going to do a minute ago. May decides to turn herself into the Jedi and then gets in a fight with a Jedi in the next episode. You have one character whose sole divining quality is that he wants to go back home to Coruscant. That's not a motivation. That's so dumb. It's weak. It's thin. That does nothing. And not to mention, this is the most annoying thing about it. Everything about this show, The Acolyte, is either convenience, or they just contrive a reason out of nowhere, or they pull something out of their hat for something to happen. Not only that, I really do hate the fact that this show decides to take everything about the Force and throw it out the window. The Force has rules. Star Wars has rules. Even when it comes to things like quote unquote magic, it relates back to the Force. That's very, very clear, even when it comes to talking about Sith magic and Sith alchemy. But in the throwing in lines where characters are talking about dark magic and everything like that, that's not Star Wars. This is the stuff that's being written by people who don't understand how Star Wars works in any shape or fashion, and I hate it. It's not even people who don't understand what I consider Star Wars. It feels like none of these people even watch the sequels or anything Disney Star Wars to understand the internal logic of those. These people live in a bubble where the Acolyte is the only thing that matters, and it's the only thing that is Star Wars to them. To them, the Acolyte is the only thing Star Wars in the universe, and everything has to be done the way they want it to be. Screw the internal logic that has been established for years. Oh my god, I've never been so angry after watching a Star Wars project. It all doesn't make sense. And Dave Filoni got the same reaction from me when I saw the Night Sisters in Clone Wars and Rebels. I was just like, that's not how the Force works. I don't like it when anyone does it. Seriously, one of the worst things about this show is its complete lack of understanding about how the Jedi and the Sith work. The one dude that calls himself a Sith has like the dumbest motivation for being a Sith ever. He pretends like his right to exist as a person is completely at risk for him studying the dark side. It's implied that his master tried to kill him, when that's just not what a Jedi would do. The first 5 Jedi that started the Sith were exiled. The Jedi just sent them away. Unless he tried to attack his master, then he better be glad he only got away with a scar. And then every Jedi in this show doesn't act like a Jedi. They don't think like Jedi. They're emotional. They're unbalanced. They don't understand what it means to be Jedi. And Dara and Sol got in a heated argument with each other. That's not how Jedi would act in a situation like this. These writers don't understand the basic philosophy of the Jedi and the Sith. The basic philosophy of the Jedi and the Sith are that the Jedi see the Force as a partner. You flow with the Force. And the Sith see it as a weapon and a tool that they can bend and contort and force to do what they want it to do. That is the fundamental difference between the Jedi and the Sith. I don't care whatever thought pattern, late night Reddit browsing idea you could have. I don't care. The Jedi are the good guys. I understand that there are people that are like, oh,
The Jedi could be the bad guys after all. They do take children and all this stuff.
No, I don't buy into that. And I don't care if the show was going to do that. If the show wanted to do that, then you have to come at it from a completely different angle than what the show did. These people have no idea what they're trying to do. And here's the thing, the model for them to do this already exists, because anyone that watches this channel, I know for a fact they know who Kreia is.
Does it matter? Of course it does. Such titles allow you to break the galaxy into light and dark, categorize it. Perhaps I am neither, and I hold both as what they are, pieces of a whole. What do you wish to hear? That I once believed in the code of the Jedi? That I felt the call of the Sith? That perhaps once I held the galaxy by its throat? That for every good work that I did, I brought equal harm upon the galaxy? That perhaps what the greatest of the Sith Lords knew of evil, they learned from me? Learn from me, my mistakes.
But I know that no one on this writing team knows anything about her. And then, oh boy, the icing on the cake. The icing on the goddamn cake. Plagueis. Yeah, it's just straight up Plagueis. It's just Darth Plagueis. And I don't know if they were trying to play it as if like, ooh, the fans are really gonna love the fact that we brought in Darth Plagueis. No, because I know exactly what they're going to do. They're going to make it so that Plagueis learned how to create a vergence in the Force and try to create a Force being from studying May and or Osha. So Plagueis learns how to make an entity using just the Force from a freaking space witch. I hate everything about this show. This is not a review. I'm not going to tell you to watch the show, or I'm not going to tell you to not watch the show. And guess what? If you like the show, fine. I'm actually really okay if you like the show. That's great. But remember, I still have the right to not like the show. I just want Star Wars to be back the way it was. This is the kind of stuff that makes me wish we can just completely decanonize Disney Star Wars entirely. It's like, oh, but Rogue One was good. Oh, but Andor was good. Oh, but the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian was good. Or Ahsoka was good. I don't care. The bad outweighs the good at this point. If there was like something we could sign or rally to whether or not to get rid of the Disney Star Wars, I would be on that, sign it, on board with it instantly. It would be no question. There's nothing left for me here. I don't know. Like this is just an angry video. And this is an angry video, and I don't like doing these because I feel like it's not content. I just had to get my raw thoughts and get them out, but I might do an in-depth breakdown sometime in the future. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below. Tell me whether or not you like the Acolyte, and tell me the reasons why you like the Acolyte. Anyway, remember, never trust a Hutt. Always save the blue Twi'leks. Retor Shami, and may the Force serve you well.